Daddy, we're doing.
I'm doing a podcast, Dizzy. Hello and welcome to the Too Cool for School podcast. I'm your host, Yannick, and on today's episode, we have an amazing guest, childcare specialist, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves.
Yo, people, I'm Joss Cambridge Simmons, teacher of love, founder of Jossy Care, black man, 7 times award winner, and
Let them know.
just a voice of change, man, and a voice of softness as well, because we don't really push that narrative for the man then, but we're going to get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. So, Joss, you've been in childcare, for a long time, working across like different roles, like like nursery teacher, nanny. Is that what they called? Like, what's that journey been like, and where did it start from? So, what's the genesis from that? Because people just see you online winning these awards, but they don't know where it started.
It's been a journey, yeah. It stems from how I was raised, man. I'm a big believer that when you're loved well, you can love well. So I feel like a lot of us that are educators and teachers and in roles where nurturing and care is a part of what we're doing, some of us haven't realised that at some part of our life we would love well that's enabled us to go and love again.
Yeah.
As a profession, whether it's teachers, scientists, a science teacher, a nanny, a manny, whatever you want to call it. And for me, what that looks like is I come from a big family and I was raised in the village of the family. Mum and dad raised me. But there's ones where everyone's your auntie and uncle.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
My dad's friends are my uncles, my mum's friends are my aunties. As well as my aunties, the direct sisters and siblings of my parents, my aunties and uncles. So being able to be raised around adults that cared for you outside of your normal conglomerate, it was like I also had a stepdad. I don't use the word stepdad lightly, but I had my mum had another partner, and that was, I also now had the privilege of having 2 influences in my life that would go to hell and high water for me and love me dearly, and as well as everything else comes with it. Godparents, like my godfather is a godfather. A lot of us have got godparents that don't show up. That isn't the same over here. My godfather has been in my life since before I knew it, and it's still in my life now. And what that looks like is like I've been a nursery teacher. I started working in nurseries. My mum found me a job in a local Islington Gazette, got from Islington, and my mum was like, we need you to potentially find a job that you can do and that you enjoy. Because I think I was working, first job was in McDonald's, did McDonald's, JD Sports, Next, Selfridges, because we like clothes. Remember, you go Selfridges, get a job thinking you get it.
Yeah, that's
it doesn't work. You don't get the garms, bro.
Yeah.
Discounting Selfridges was meaty. And got a job in Harrods, got a job in Tesco's. I've realised I've grafted. Tesco's in Highbury Corner, the first Tesco's, and I worked in Next in Westfield, Shepherd's Bush when it first opened.
Wow.
Me and my team that I worked with were the first people to open up Westfield and all those shops. And it was those times there when all of you would get a job in the same place as neighbours. Yeah. And then what that looked like is, Mum knew that I didn't mind working, having a job was fine, but I didn't enjoy any of these jobs. They were just jobs to me. Also, I'm 17, 18, 19. Mum was like, I'll maybe find a career. Got a job in Camden Council. Like 25,000 a year, I think, at like 18. It actually didn't hit me. It took me a few years to actually process what that was, like salary-wise at that age. Then my mum was like, I found a job for you in the Gazette, go for it. Because my mum had a baby, my little brother. Big up him, I was talking to him yesterday actually. And it was when I started looking after my little brother a little bit and my other little cousins, we realised Joss is actually quite enthusiastic with children and very good with children. So it was a nursery advert called Asquith Day Nursery, which is now run by Bright Horizons. And nursery, for me it's full circle because the nursery is in Finsbury Park. And Finsbury Park is where I grew up and where my family grew up. My dad grew up personally. So it was in a corner of Finsbury Park that anyone from the ends that knows Cash and Carry or Back Park, where I go on. Like that's, for us, like, it's kind of staple part of the ends. You go Cash and Carry for christening, weddings, funerals. And it was in that nursery that I actually went to the nursery to become a teacher. I haven't even told everyone this part of it, that I wanted to, I wanted to actually do CSI. and I wanted to be a CSI investigator. So I did a BTEC in college, barely passed. I went to all boys school, so when I got to college, seeing all the women everywhere, I was just literally just chatting everyone up. I barely passed my lessons. Went to Tottenham College, followed the man them from the end to Tottenham College, because I went to college in Barnet originally in Northwest, like Graham Park. I went to school in Finchley, and then Tottenham College. When I was in college, my mum found me the job, and it was then that I realised I want to be a teacher. So I was going to do the childcare development level 3. Then you can get into a degree with that, like a QTS, whatever it was back then. But then when I worked in a nursery, I was like, "Wow, I'm enjoying this. I actually think I want to open up my own nursery, or I think I want to work in childcare." Then I think I saw Daddy Daycare. Obviously, I'm 37. I grew up on Kindergarten Cop, grew up on Two Men and a Baby.
Old school. Come on.
I'm used to seeing men in caregiving roles on TV.
Yeah.
We don't pre it like that, but we've actually grown up watching men on TV show up for their kids.
Yeah.
We had Uncle Phil. Yeah. We had My Wife and Kids. We had One on One. So I've seen all these dads on TV just be men caring for their kids, not knowing that I'm now in the nursery as a man, that this isn't what men normally do. And it was then that I think I watched Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah. And I was like, I want to be a nanny.
Wow.
But my idea was I want to be a nanny, travel the world and work for numerous people. Hence the airplane logo. Yeah. And the original hashtag was start local, go global, because obviously I DJ, innit? Been DJing for years. Yeah. And the idea that I got from the man them that I DJ with, Hot Stepper, Hype Man, Mac D and the rest of the family is you want to be the person in the ends that everybody knows you for DJing. Yeah. So I started babysitting. And my idea was I want to be the person in the ends that's known for babysitting. So if you might not book me, but when someone says, I need a babysitter, I come up in conversation.
Yeah, you think,
because that's the same idea that I got from being around the environments we're coming from and DJing when you're handing out flyers outside the dance. Like we was doing that college days, uni days, etc. And then it was then that I realised that I actually have gone and did what I said I'm going to do. I've travelled the world for work, become a nanny the way I want to be a nanny. I don't work for nobody full time. I'm self-employed. There wasn't an issue about working for somebody and not being employed or self-employed, but I really didn't just want to work for one family. The idea of that kind of bored me. Yeah. So I made it into a business to be a self-employed nanny, which was quite foreign before I was doing it. Nobody was really doing it. That now is able to work for numerous people at any given time, but still have a 40-hour, 30-hour week. Wow. And now have villages that come to me for my services, and it's got so good that people now bend their schedules to fit mine. Yeah. So people take the hours I give them. So if I only got 3 hours, they'll take 2.5. Yeah. And that's the journey that's got to where I've got to, and I've happened to be able to be privileged enough to enjoy what I do.
That's powerful, man. That's powerful. And do you think your role and in the unique sense of being, a male nanny or a manny and being black, there's that unique selling point,
bro, it's
that
lit.
People
it's lit.
Are drawn to that.
It's lit.
And does that come up in conversation? Like, do you ever ask, why me? Like, how do you know what they're looking for?
I often get humbled. Like, I got an email last night and this morning. Someone contacted me, say, hi, I need childcare. What's your availability? I constantly get humbled that people constantly choosing me. Right. Like, forget the awards, forget the Instagrams, forget the socials. My job is to care for kids. And the fact that people keep constantly choosing me, finding, not like the same people I'm with all the time, but people go out of the way to potentially use me to look after their child. Yeah. As much as I know what I'm doing, I'm professional, blah, 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 that's still humbling. There's still a bit of nerves that I have that, like, wow, why me? Not imposter syndrome, but I'm quite humble in knowing that I know what I'm doing, but the fact that I'm constantly chosen, I realise how privileged I am. And I'm in a space where my blackness is unique, where my blackness is definitely the main reason why people choose me. Not solely to say they have a black man who can look after their kid, but it's now a window into what black male masculinity can be or is, because a lot of people aren't rubbing shoulders to the man then, bro. Let's have it right. Whether you work in real estate, engineering, people aren't rubbing shoulders with us outside of work sometimes. So to now realise there's a Joss, which means there could be a Yannick, which means there could be a Jerome, there could be a Jamal. It's now opened up a door.
You're paving the way.
You're
paving the way for so many.
They now look at black men in a different light to what they looked at before. Yeah. And I haven't had to tell them to do that. I've just shown up as me.
That's important. And how do you navigate those conversations around or with parents and carers who are maybe hesitant about leaving their child with you if it's like the first time, not because it's you, but this is the first time they're leaving them. Because me, I can't fathom that. I can't fathom leaving my child.
I'm not a parent, but I can't fathom having a child and looking for childcare. Not saying I'm against childcare, but the idea that this is my baby and I'm going to give it to my mum, let alone anybody else, is like, that's what humbles me, the trust that people have. But I'm here for the anxieties that parents get. I'm here for the parental chaos. I'm here for the overthinking. I'm here for the fact that you're not comfortable with something that's new. And I hold space for it because I'm also not a parent. But I understand to a small extent the parental guilt you have from sending your kids to school. You want to send them to school, but you might also feel like you can do it yourself. But there's a guilt there where you're probably trying to find a balance to find the right reasons for your choices of getting a babysitter so you can go Tesco's. So how I manage that is I tell parents, bring your nerves, man, bring your anxieties here. In the space of, not because you're anxious because it's me, you're anxious to the process of the idea of having somebody care for your child, not because you don't trust them, you're just a parent, and in my eyes, you're doing what a parent should do, be a little bit nervous until they're not. And how I support that is just be myself, bro. Like I can't it's like in a relationship, like you can't force someone to trust you. You just have to be yourself and move accordingly. They're either gonna resonate with it or they're not gonna resonate with it. But when we say they can't really go around it, because I'm so able to be me, people resonate with it well. And I give parents understanding that you're not going crazy overthinking. Like I look after children that I've been looking after for nearly 3 years. The mum still messaging me randomly to be like, how's everything? When the mums or dads don't hit the WhatsApp group, like I started at 9, we've got no message, we've got no checkup by 12. I'm like, what? Is everything okay? Like, check on us, guys. Like, at one time I overthought, and I thought mum and dad broke up because I'm like, all day no one's hit up the WhatsApp group, I'm like, what? Like, hi guys, everything okay in Paris? I said, no, Joss, we're just busy. I said, cool. Like, check on us, guys. Like, I've got your kids. And that's me, where some nannies don't want to be checked on. Like, I used to have a family that live in Kendall Rise. Mum used to leave me post-it notes on the fridge every week to say, for dinner is this is the recipe. I was there for 3 years. I knew the recipe off by heart. But I understand this is you doing your due diligence as a mum. I'm here for it.
And what's the structure of being like a nanny? Is it that you take care of the kids, the family come in the evening, you go home, or is there ever aspects where it's like has to be residential and you've got to stay over?
I do what we call proxy parenting, which means proxy parenting is when you might go on holiday for the weekend and somebody has your child in your house for the next 3-4 days.
Okay.
And that means I'm living in the spare room. Not a lot of people, but people have spare rooms in their houses depending on what kind of life you live in. And that means I'm the in-house parent. Which means I might be doing school pick-up on the Friday, school drop-off on the Monday, which means I've got to be available for the whole weekend, so I'm there, locked in. Like, moved in for a few days. And I did it recently, and I've did it numerous times in this lifetime, but I haven't did it as the man I am now. See how like mature you are now and how you show up? There's certain things you haven't navigated yet as who you are, but you did it before. But when you do it now with this new Yannick brain, you're like, it's a different energy now. You're a bit more present, a bit more calm. And a little bit more tired because I've realised that I can't switch off because the kids are sleeping, washing machine's on, dinner's already cooked for tomorrow, dishwasher's packed, doors are locked, dryer's on, washing machine's on, kids are bath sleeping. I'm still over. I can't sign out now mentally, and that's where parents are at on a different scale because there's a different bond. But I'm phone the man them. I'm like, bro, how you do this every day? Because I'm paid to be here. I'm like, bro, like, how do you generally do this because I'm trying to watch something on Netflix or whatever. I can't focus right now, bro. I'm on TikTok moving crazy, just swiping, thinking like, I can't sign out right now. I barely slept that night. I slept, but I'm like, how do you guys find a little bit of peace for yourself within the parental chaos where these aren't my kids? I go home in 2 days, but the 2 days I've got them, I'm so on job with it. I'm like, my own nervous system isn't at the basics normal yet, but I'm still able to cope and manage.
Yeah. I think as a parent, for me, you just adapt.
Okay.
You just adapt. Like, I remember I was having a conversation with one of my boys about this, because my little one's 3 years old, and I was saying, like, I can't remember how life was before in terms of like the daily routines. Like, you wake up, has he eaten? It's him first before I even do anything. And by the time it gets to me, that's even back burner. And that's just the way we navigate. And speaking about or thinking about like your relationship with the children. So, the role of us as men, fathers and adults, we're often seen as, we're either the fun one or we're either the stern one. Like, how do you find the balance to be able, to be like vulnerable and showcase that type of emotion like with your children?
How can I answer that is, you see, when you asked me the journey, I've been doing this for 18 years. So for 18 and a half, I started doing it. So I've grown up having to be vulnerable in spaces with children and know what vulnerability and softness and emotions look like to be able to do my job. Because you can't do this job of being a nursery teacher with no emotional capacity. But at 18, I didn't have the emotional capacity that I have now, but I had to find it and learn. And how I do it is, I'm the soft one. Because I'll be damned if I'm seen as the angry black. No. I'll be damned if I'm seen as the disciplinarian or the angry one. And I'll be damned if these children have a fear of me. That also, a lot of children I care for are white. And a lot of the children I care for are black, but more so white. And I've been around enough children to understand how children view men. And I also know how I want children to view men.
How do children view men?
A lot of children view men as a little bit intimidated, where they think you might tell me off because society has told us that's what men do. Men are the ones that be like, give you a look and say don't do it, and you stop straight away. Where society has told us that mum struggle with that, but let mum call dad quickly, dad will pattern him. When that's the narrative I've rechanged here for myself with my job, due because I've been through stuff with my own family as a child where that never worked for me. And how it is now is my softness with these children is my biggest asset with them, because it's enabled me to constantly learn how to be softer with myself and give myself grace and give myself the patience I need to just navigate, where I'm constantly making mistakes in that because I'm an adult, I'm human. But how I navigate those mistakes to not make myself feel like I can't make a mistake is now, it's the same way I support these children in their needs, by understanding that they now view me as, okay, I've got a video on Instagram and the little one said that I think I might have reacted to something in a tone that she wasn't used to with me. So in her eye, little one's eyes, she felt like I shouted, which is fine. I can't dismiss how you feel. I apologise. I don't have to explain that I wasn't doing that. And she said to me, that's not the Josh you are. You're meant to be the soft man, the man that listens and talks to us and gets on the floor. She's 5, bro.
Well,
but that shows me the image she has of me is the image that this is what Josh does with us. Josh has time for our feelings, So the minute that she didn't get that version of Josh, she called it out. Which shows me how I'm viewed by these kids in real time, where I can't give these kids the look to stop. I have to communicate with them to stop. Because culturally, we have this kind of understanding that I give my kids a look and they jump and they stop. For me, personally, I've had to break away from that over the years. Then I have a bond with these children where no matter how they feel, they can come to me. Whether they've broken the glass, did something they shouldn't have did. it's safe enough here for them to have their feelings. Even if they don't feel safe enough to have their feelings here, I do best for them to not feel that they can't have their feelings here, if I'm making sense.
Yeah. No, that's powerful. And the softness that you're highlighting, and you speak about with so much conviction, like what's the impact? Like when you, the children that you work with, when you take that approach, like what are you seeing you're like, wow, that's amazing compared to, any other random male caregiver who's maybe more stern?
The impact is that conversation that little one had with me to be like, you're meant to be the soft Joss. And the impact when I was in a taxi with one of my children coming back from football, and she mentioned that sometimes when you speak to me, Joss, about my feelings, I go quiet because you always understand me. Which gave me the same reflection that we get as adults with our partners, when our partners might revert in and go quiet because you might not. It's not about you being right, but someone might have said something that triggered them and hit them, and it was the honest truth that was said, but they don't know how to respond to it. She's 8, does the same thing, but at a different level, being an 8-year-old with an adult that cares for her, and the fact that she was able to see that with me, knowing that no matter how agitated I am with what she's did or whatever she's did in the moment, I still find a base of calmness to approach it. Like I don't lose my cool. And if I do lose my cool, I apologise. And losing my cool might be me saying, hey, get down, without explaining why to get down.
Yeah.
Because children work better with explanations with me because of how I communicate with my children in my care. And the softness with me is where they're so secure with me, where they can walk in front of me and not look back.
Yeah.
Or when we're walking, you're a father. When we're walking and they look for my hand, like like those little things. I'm on the school run and they look at me like, wait, hold my hand. And I didn't know the hand holding it today. Like I've been with you for years. I don't always hold your hand because sometimes you don't want to hold it. But I also let them choose me, which that's constantly important. Lets me know that they are. We've got intimate bonds, like emotionally, on a level where they feel so safe with me, where I get all their emotions, bro. The other side of it, the emotions you don't get in school, I get the big ones, the small ones, the dysregulated ones, bro. The ones that I've got to go back and read a textbook or do some research on how to come back and manage that feeling. And the feelings that are tricky and triggering, because I believe the parental journey or the adult journey as a carer of children is a journey of reparenting yourself constantly to work on our own triggers that come up when the emotions arise from them breaking something, and now all we want to do is tell them off and say and just chastise them. And in order for me to not do that, I have to constantly do the work in the moment with them. Yeah.
No, 100%, man. And you're speaking a bit about like co-regulation there as well. Like how important is co-regulation in the relationship that you have with the children that you work with, and how do you manage that? Because
it's imperative for the simple fact that difficult. I was just talking to the Uber driver on the way here, and I've established over the years that all the parents that want to trying their best. Yeah, they're doing the utmost best with what they've got. Some have a lot, some don't have nothing, and regardless of how much they have, they sometimes do have nothing, because the nothing for me is capacity. The mental capacity doesn't come with money. It doesn't come with status. It comes with your mental load and how it affects you. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And for me, what that looks like is being able to ask yourself if you've got the capacity, which isn't always doable because parents are ongoingly somewhat surviving.
Yeah.
Regardless of how well you show up, you're in a survival aspect of it at some point in the 1-parent household, 2-parent household. It's an ongoing navigation of it's quite systemic in it within that realm of it. But as the carer, for me, I like mentally it can become a challenge when I'm constantly having to rewire my own thought processes and how I deal with my emotions with these children. Like as much as I talk a great talk, I'm not perfect. And I'm probably learning more than these kids are actually learning from me, because these children are doing what they're doing. I'm having to unlearn what I think I'm doing is right.
Yeah.
That has come from these children's emotions and the capacity they have to do what they're doing in the moment. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, it does. And, there's the co-regulating with the children, and essentially co-regulation is, the learning of our emotions.
Yeah.
And, I understand that you invest a lot into the children that you work with. Like, how much do you invest with the parents? Because sometimes I look at nannies and I think, well, they're just doing the job for you, and when you come, what do? You tuck them into bed. Like, do you know what's going on in their lives? And you see it in movies, or sometimes I see it out, and the kids are having a better time with their nanny than they are with
because the other side of it with both questions, the first one and this one, is I understand that there's a lot of dysregulated parents to no fault of their own. So, and being able to regulate yourself and your child in the moment as the parent isn't easy. It's doable, but not easy. I'm also no parent. I don't have the same capacity as a parent where my drain of what I'm drained from in life isn't the same as yours. You've got more on your plate to have to manage. So I also become a mirror for these parents. It's like I've realised me in your household is triggering. For the simple fact of how I show up with your kids. Not to show you how to show up yourself, but it's hard to have people around you that don't mirror what you need to work on. Because parents, like, one of the dads I work with always takes his hat off to me and be like, where do you get this patience from?
Yeah.
As a 37-year-old man, where does this and not because I'm a man, it's just the patience that I have, that people see I have, is immense. And I've learned, as I get older and older, my patience is becoming, I'm becoming more patient and more graceful and more understanding than I ever thought I was.
Yeah.
And it really, it's the regulation, it's my understanding of what I see softness as and grace, where I have a saying that I feel like I made it up, where how much grace do you walk with? Because grace forgive. Like, we often give grace on a capacity of what can I get back. I'm just giving you grace, bro. You ain't got to keep it, but I don't need it here. Like, and that's the same that I do with parents and these children. And what it looks like for the parents is we've got strong bonds. We're friends, we're family, I'm part of the family. They never like me introducing myself as a nanny to their friends. They tell me off. They'd be like, no, you're family here, Joss. Before you're a child carer, you're Joss and you're somebody to us. You're part of this family. The reason they can work and survive is because of me. The reason their children are thriving is because of us, because we're a collective. And also, them knowing my blackness and understanding that I'm black in this house, and I've got Maggie cubes in the cupboard, and I come in, play some black music within reason, child-friendly versions of what you play. I listen to house music, I'm a DJ, I play Time on the Floor and Super D in the house and Hot Stepper in the house, and the kids love it and we thrive. And that all brings bond with the children, because I've got a dad who wears a Todd Edward t-shirt that says, Jesus loves UKG. He only wears a t-shirt for me.
Wow.
Because like he used to listen to garage music a bit younger, he knows I like garage music, and he randomly sometimes sends me TikToks of DJs playing songs that we like, and we've got relationships that go beyond my realm of how I show up for them as a support system in the houses, when I'm very valued here. And that value comes from me just stepping in and being myself, being transparent. Having down days, like I've had episodes where I've been a bit more anxious in life, mental health hasn't been the best place. Spoken to them about it. It hasn't been easy saying it to them, because there's also a capacity where people with mental health sometimes might feel a stigma that if I am a teacher and got mental health problems, I might seem unfit to work with kids. But it's that envisioned thought of what makes you feel like that. But everyone here has got you within your space of working more time, where you can say this is how I feel, and they might give you time off or give you the support you need. So that's how it looks.
No, that's powerful, man. That's powerful. And I know you've been doing, like you share online that a lot of your work is centered around like having a trauma-informed, approach.
Yeah.
And how important is that, taking that approach for the children and the families that you support?
That is as important to me as approaching children with SEN.
Well,
I approach both the same. I approach all children they're on, like you would a child that is autistic or neurodivergent. Correct word, sorry. As in, the grace and patience you give a child that's neurodivergent is the grace and patience we all deserve.
Yeah.
Softness, when you lock in and you put your phone way in the corner so you can be present. And like you might not put aftershave on that day because some people's senses aren't the most privy to aftershaves or perfume. So you might walk in there, not wear a bright colour, wear a dark colour so you don't, trigger somebody's senses. For me, all my children get that same approach, whether they're neurodivergent or whether there's been trauma in the space or not. Because I've realised both practices for me now coincide where the softness, the grace. My New Year's resolution this year was to listen more than I speak. It's quite hard for me because I talk a lot. But being in these spaces with these children and listening more than I speak to them. Because these children will tell you what they need if you just lock in. And that comes from understanding trauma to a level that trauma doesn't look like the same for everybody, bro. Most kids mask. Most of our kids are number one maskers, bro. Not because they've been taught to, but because they haven't been through life in an aspect of being able to have a feeling and express it. So when our children come home and they dysregulated with us and they're crying and you're giving them a red cup and the red cup isn't the cup they want, and rather than him saying, Daddy, I don't want it, they just cry and they just like, I don't want it, and they splash the water everywhere. And now we're triggered because we've been at work. There's understanding why that is so and why it's happened and how it's got here. And that's the approach I have 24/7 with these children. And being able to have that kind of level of understanding, even if I don't understand, I still acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because you can't understand everything in the moment. And that's how I see both the dysregulation, the trauma-informed practice, and the same practice I would have with neurodivergent children. There's a different essence that's needed. But I've realised, like, I'm a big believer that you see how you do with how you support a newborn.
Yeah.
You might shave your beard down because you don't want to give the newborn a rash because your hair grease, etc. A bit more present, less bass in your voice. We all need that in life, bro. We all need someone. We all deserve or need someone around us that approaches us like that.
Yeah.
That same attentiveness that you give a newborn, adults need it too. We just don't know how to ask for it. Children need it even more because children ask for it in ways that triggers us. It shows you how much work we've got to do.
No, that's powerful, and hearing about like everything that you do in terms of having to consider like the trauma-informed practice and making sure that yourself, the families, the children are emotionally regulated. Like where do you find the balance? Where do you find the balance to look after Jossy, not Jossy as nanny but you as an individual, and what does that look like?
What it looks like for me is seeing the work, not as in my job, what I do daily, but the work that gets put into that, it's also effective for the work that I need to do myself.
Yeah.
So it's not far removed. Also knowing how to switch off. I've learned, not a lot of us know how to switch off, bro. Yeah. It's hard. I understand it's hard. It's usually a trauma response to why a lot of us struggle with not being busy. As busy as I sound, like you see, like I sent you a candy link, and as busy as it looks, a lot of the blocked out days is days of me doing nothing with myself, bro.
Well,
I've had to push that. It's not been easy. I'm in my house and there's things to do in the house and I'm tapping my fingers and I'm like, that needs to be done. But also, I need to sit down and just be present for myself. So a lot of it is I DJ still.
That's good.
And I've realised
that's a positive outlet.
Like I was talking to my friend recently and cause I give DJ lessons, and she was like, sometimes my mixes don't mix properly, and like, why? And I said, what I've learned is how present you have to be as a DJ when you're in the mode to be able to block out outside noise and only hear what's happening.
Yeah.
That's a skill set, and that's quite challenging, bro. Because life is life for all of us.
Yeah.
And I only got better as a DJ when I actually be able to put all my ducks in the row somewhat.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but able to put my ducks in the row and only hear what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I get that from my self-talk. When I'm with my children and caring for them, and we might like walk. We might be in the V&A museum down the road, and there's little blue blocks they play with. They might not be sharing with a child that they just met.
Yeah.
And the other parent, the parent that's there with the other children, you can see how they're navigating it, very anxious.
Yeah.
Don't sometimes feel shame because their child isn't sharing.
Yeah.
And I've looking at my child, but talk to my child, and I'm having a conversation with myself at the same time about how I'm gonna approach the child, because the child might feel like they're in trouble or not in trouble, and my tone and getting on eyesight. Purposely picking up my phone and putting it in my pocket. So this child can now see my phone isn't next to us.
You're available now.
Yeah, but my phone wasn't in my hand anyway, but I'm available right now because I know how it looks like when you're not available. And being able to kind of have that self-talk in the moment while we're talking, and sometimes apologise in the moment, because a lot of it comes from me being able to check myself while talking to you and be like, you know what, bro, how I came across you, I didn't like that for myself. You might not be bothered, but I'm bothered. So you know what, apologise. I'm sorry. And that happens now. I'm now worked on my brain to do that in the moment sometimes, in some matters. Still an ongoing process, but yeah, that answers that.
Yeah. No, that's powerful, man. And you know, just to finish off very quickly, when you look back at your time, you know, as a nanny and the work that you've been doing.
Yeah.
When you think about, you know, the young people, the children that you support who are now young adults and even maybe some as adults, what do you hope they remember about the support that you gave them? What do you hope sticks with them?
That they know love is real because they've received it from at least somebody in this lifetime, loved on them and supported them at a point in their life when they didn't really realise what it was at 3, 4, 5, and navigated like that. Like I've got young men that I've looked after from like the age of 5 that are like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and they've all got an innocence in them still, and a softness and a virtue about them that stems from them seeing me just be who I am. Outside of caring for them, they realise Joss is still soft as a 37-year-old black man in the end with a hoodie, and they've realised they can still be that as well, regardless of what's around you. And secondly, a lot of it is that being who you are, or being who you are within who you are, is okay. Because sometimes our children are trying to be something they're not at 3, 4, 5. And when you've got adults around them that are authentically themselves and not afraid, I'm not afraid to be my blackness around here. Like my blackness is, I'm blacker at work on purpose because I'm not turning that down for nobody. And my children love it. Like lastly, before we land, I picked up one of my kids from school, and she was upset I didn't have a snack for her. You know, you pick up the she cried, bro.
Wow.
What do you think she cried for? What snack was it? Fried dumpling. She's a little white girl, by the way. I need to go to Jamaica.
You put her on.
She's like, I need to go to Jamaica. Daddy, take us to Jamaica. Do I see fried dumpling today? I said, I wish that was the case, but no. No, I'm making them next week in half time. It's like, I've got to make a shift. So yeah, that's it.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing, man. And you know, it's just, you know, it's good to sort of see your journey, and you know, I'm sure, you know, when the episode goes out, we'll be sharing, you know, all your platforms, you know, etc. for people, and you know, for people to see, you know, the amazing work that you've been doing, and you know, that you continue to do. And the fact that you are, you know, being recognised, because I'm seeing the awards, you know, I'm seeing the awards, I'm seeing the work, and you know, that's amazing, and you know, I appreciate
thank you,
having you.
Thank you for you too, bro, because I don't get to sit enough of these spaces talking about stuff with the man them. And you're doing amazing work over here as well, so I have to give you the flower. So
I appreciate that, man.
Blessings, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So that was the Too Cool for School podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on our social media platforms.